tube. See if we can get you zip just a little. There we go. Perfect. All right, we'll go live over here and over here. Amazing, looking good. Let's work. There we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. You guys are looking awesome. I'm just literally now getting my liquid white on the canvas. So what I did was I dipped it into my jar, put a big old X through it, kind of through here, through the top, and now I'm just sort of mixing it around. And then I'm going to show you exactly how to test and make sure that we've got just enough to get our job done that we need to do today. We don't want to have too much on the canvas. We want to have just enough. So let's go across it. Let's go up and down. Let's really massage it into the canvas, back and forth here. We're turning our brush vertically like this so we can push more pressure, more force. Like I'm just go sideways. I'm gonna use both the sides instead of this, right? This does it, sure. But you can put more force into it and spread it a bit more evenly if you're turning your brush on the side like that. Now, you guys check in. Tell me where you're watching from. What's your favorite sandwich? Let me know out there in the comments. For me, does anybody know my favorite sandwich? That's actually a better question. Check in, let me know where you're watching from, but then tell me what my favorite sandwich is. Do you know it? Do you know in the comments what my favorite sandwich? We're talking like sub sandwich, you know what I mean? Like sub sandwichy. What's my favorite? Type it in the comments. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Grab our palette over here. Looking good. Watching from Pennsylvania. Dig you guys. Thanks for being here. What happened to last night's feed? Did something happen? I didn't realize something happened. I did get a phone call in the middle from my daughter's school telling me that she was not there for a certain time of day. But yeah, I didn't know it had done anything to the stream, so I'm sorry about that. Now, let's see. Let's go through and just do a cool little sunset. Maybe some different colors we don't normally use, right? Let's go into our Indian yellow first. Grab a little bit of our yellow ochre as well. Why not? Just get both of them. Let's put it over here this time. Bang, right there. Look at that dusky yellow color. Oh, it's gorgeous. Again, take that yellow ochre, grab some Indian yellow with it. Bring it down here. Let's just start rocking it this way. Oh, that is gonna be a pretty little thing, you guys. Just quite literally pop it in. You don't need to blend it out too much. If you put more yellow ochre, it's gonna be darker. Right? You put less, it's gonna be brighter. Up to you, how you want it to be. All you gotta do is pop it out there. And because our canvas, which I was gonna show you how to test and make sure that the canvas has just enough paint on it, right? I'm trying to show everybody. Just enough paint on the edge of the canvas. Might be easier like this, right? Like that, like this, right? You have just enough on the edge to be able to spread the paint around. That's all you need. Spread the paint around. It helps it blend and slide much more easier than if you had nothing on there at all. Okay, now let's go into a little bit of our our dark sienna brown. You're like, oh Josh, don't you dare put brown up in that sky. Look at it though. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. You get that little bit of our dark sienna brown, and then we'll come in with our Van Dyke brown, a bit darker in color. Bit darker in its color. There. That's gorgeous right there, guys. Seriously. We don't want to have too much. You don't need to put on too much paint. Don't need to cover the whole thing. And we definitely don't need to blend out the bottom, that's for sure. So if I'm going to blend out my top area, where should I start? In the lightest color place or the darkest color place? What do you think? And remember, guys, it's Friday the 13th. Oh no! I actually met my first wife, London, and my second wife, London, on Friday the 13th, way back in 2009. 2009, Friday the 13th. So, cool little day for me. Now, let's get in here and knock off all that paint thinner off of our brush. Come up here into our lightest area first, of course. We have to hit the lightest spot first. And as we start mixing it and mixing it and mixing it, we're picking up some of that yellow color onto the bristles of our brush. Right? Then we'll come out here into that lighter brownish color. Let it feed down, kind of pull this darker brownish color over here, about as far as we want it to do, right? Because we know it's just blending because our canvas is wet, right? Canvas is wet, the paints are wet, it's the wet on wet technique, everybody, and it's just so much fun. Let's get out here and finish the edges just with at least a bit of color. I always feel like if you don't at least finish the edges with some color, then it just looks sloppy, right? So if you're out there painting, trying to sell your paintings, get your edges finished, seriously. We don't have to do much, right? See these stripes right here? How would I get rid of these streaks? Well, I could go like this, up and down, right? Side to side. Take them out like that. I could crisscross. I could do whatever I wanted to do in order to make it work. That's what I like to teach you. You can do whatever you have to do in order to make it work, okay? You can do it. You could do whatever you want. You could have it be darker. Maybe we want a bit of crimson into our sky now. Oh yes, way out there. Ooh, I like that. That is fantabulous. Right over those lighter color browns. We don't even need to mix it all the way in. Doesn't even need to do anything, guys. It's up to us, quite literally. Literally. I'm gonna take a little bit of my black and come up here with the black. You don't want to have too much black, okay? I'm telling you right now. You put too much black on your brush, especially if it's this gambling black, it's really gonna stretch, right? Now, do you want it to stretch that far? That's up to you. So, depending on how much you put up there, okay? Now, let's go back and wash this brush off again. We'll go back and blend it out again. Until we like how it looks, it is not finished. Right? Once I decide that I like how that looks, then we're done. You know what I mean? We would be done. So let's wash off our brush again, dab it off on a paper towel. Right? Get it all dry. That's what it sounds like. Someone's knocking on the door over here. They're not. It's just me. It's just me. Now, right? Come back again into the lightest area first. Maybe grab a little bit of that pinky bit, start to blend it away, because the more that we mix it, the more it will disappear. Right? So grabbing just with the top corners here, and drag down some color like that, and then go back and blend it out. And the more and more times we do that, the more it will all mix to the same color, right? So we have to decide in our brains, with our little eyeballs, there's those two things right here that you're watching me with, those two things, right? You have to decide what you want yours to look like. And until you're finished, right, yours can look however you want. It doesn't have to look like mine. You don't have to use these colors, right? We literally don't have to do anything. That's the best part about painting with Josh, right? Now, let's come over here. We'll grab a little fan brush. We'll grab our big old black palette. This is the Paint with Josh Black Palette Special Edition in the night. You can find them on my website. Now, let's say, maybe right over the top of all that shadow, just bang, right there. Right? How far do you want your cloud to go up? Maybe we don't need it to go all the way up into the darkness. It's going to go behind our mountain. Remember, every time that we do something, we're pushing it behind with our next layer. So no matter what it looks like the first time, it should be covered up by the time you get to your next layer, right? Very lightly again. You see how quickly those mix away? So soft. Soft along the top, harder along the bottom. Just like that. It's like a mullet, like party in the business in the front, party in the back. Right? Softer on the top, harder on the bottom. That way we're blending out the bottom area so it becomes a softer portion of canvas, okay? Now let's just say, just because it just looks real flat right here, right? What if I come up and change my shape, pop in a little more brightness, raising it up a little bit, and then if we came up here and made a separation piece, right? A little separator right there. As we start to mix the brush, again, same brush, didn't wash it, didn't even dab it off on a paper towel, just right up here again, soft as I can touch it. And if I know if I'm touching it so softly and it's not doing what I want to do, then I need to push it harder and blend it together a bit more. Maybe drag it down this way, over here. You see how we don't stay in one spot at any moment? We're constantly moving. That's how you do it, guys. That is how you do it. Nice and soft. Push them in the distance. We don't want any texture out there. If you've got texture in your clouds, that's how I can tell what stage of painting you are at. Right? We should not have any texture. It should be bright because we used a little bit of paint, we softened it down. There should be no texture. Now let's come in here with the Paint with Josh palette knife. We're going to grab up our black, our crimson, and our Prussian blue this time. Going with the Bob Ross Prussian blue. Got a brand new tube of it. So the Meaden Ultramarine blue has been sat on the bench for a minute while we use this Prussian blue. Now, Prussian blue, it's very much the same color as black. It's a super, super, super dark blue. And you can even see the ultramarine blue back here behind that Prussian blue pile just to tell the difference. I left it out there for you. Now again, you don't need to use the exact same colors that we use. Right? You can use whatever you want to do. I always have 4 different brands on my palette at the same time, okay? This is a good question. Does anyone out there, have you ever wondered what brand of paint does Josh use? Because I get the question in the comments all the time, and I'll go and type it out and write it back, but I just want to know if you guys maybe wanted to know that. And we could go through them real quickly while I flatten out this dark paint. Right? Just like so. Here's where we go make a mess, too. Here it comes. You guys want to hear what the brands are? Thank you, Brad Bob. He's over there helping me out, dude. Apparently no one does. That's fine. Yes, what paint? Okay. So, we're using oil paint, the very thickest, firmest oil paints you can get from the brands Bob Ross, Winsor & Newton, is usually the white. Well, this is Bob Ross, right? But we use Winsor & Newton. Our brown today is Winsor & Newton. Then we use the Gamblin 1980, right, for our black today. And then Meaden brand is the other brand that we like to use for our crimson madder carmine color and our ultramarine blue. So all 4 different brands, all oil paint, 3 of them very equal in consistency. The Meaden brand is a little bit wetter, right? But it's also a little bit more vibrant, so you make your decision what you want to do. Now, let's take this guy. You guys are going to check in right now. Tell me where you're watching from. What time is it? And promise me you won't leave when I come up here and just make this enormous mess. Here we go. I ran out of air in the end of that sentence. Otherwise, that would have been a very good opening to the video. Okay, guys, here we go. We're about to show you the biggest mountain you've ever seen. We're going to start from the outside of the pile. We're going to cut across the pile, getting an enormous pile of paint on here, and then just boom up into the night. How far do you want your mountain to go? Pick it up, scrape it over, move it down. Right? How many little things can you get done on your little mountainous mass? How tall do you want it to be? You want it to be taller? Get it up there, just like so. However we want, right? You want it to lean on, get a little flatter, make it flatter. All up to you. Guys, right there. Perfect. I like that. Come over here. Right? We can always raise it up and push it into the clouds. Take everything, spread it out. Over here, exactly how we're going to brush it. Doesn't that already look sort of 3D? Just already, right? Now, of course, you got to come in with your Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. We can do that again. Hang on. Retake. Whoop, whoop. There we go, Josh. Now, of course, you got to come in with your Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. You're going to grab it up like this and go shoo. Start sliding out these little mountainous masses. Right? Maybe both those guys are going down. They're one part of this hill back there. And then maybe we pull it off this way, meeting it at our other brush stroke. Right? Maybe we come down here, cut through that little guy. How far do you want your mountain to go? What are the angles? What are the, everything is all up to you. You're deciding. You just guys got to down through there. Okay? Each time that we do it, another chance, another opportunity to do a different shape, to do something else, to try it here and try it there, right? Maybe this guy's got a sheer cliff right here in the back. Boom, right down the backside. Maybe we hit again, we turn, and we cut across. Right? How many times do you want to do that? How much can you mix it in? You start seeing some mountain yet? We're going to come off the top, slide down this way, meeting it at our grip point where we had our other line, right? That way, we can create another little ridge that will push that ridge into the mountain, right? Take this guy, slide him out. It's as simple as it's got to be, you guys. You can do that. I'm telling you, I just showed you every single step. You can get over there on my YouTube and check it out, rewatch it, do whatever you got to do. Let's come back in with our palette knife. We're going to come over here, scrape up a little bit of white, a little touch of blues, a little teeny tiny little bit. Let's mix it up over here. We got our white, we got our blue. Now, no matter the time of year, especially out here in Oregon and out on in Seattle when I was driving past Mount Rainier, there's snow on the mountain even in the summertime, you guys. So I don't want to hear it. We can do whatever we want. Right? Let's take a little bit of that. Wipe off the blade of our palette scrapey tool. This is the Paint with Josh palette scrapey tool. If you know what it really is, we know why we can't say it on certain platforms. But the palette scrapey tool, we're gonna get rid of that chunk. We need that chunk to be too chunky. Where'd it go? It flew off somewhere. No, I'm probably gonna step in that later, but that's okay. Now we take our white paint, right? We mix it in with a little touch of that blue, so it's a very, 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 very bright blue color. And that's going to act as our snowy white off in the distance, even though it's not the purest of white paint, okay? Come over here, grab this guy. We know all of our light's coming from this side, meaning that our snow can attach and just deposit, just wherever, however you want it to be. Maybe you want to come over this side and grab a little bit. Maybe you want to slide it down over here, right? All up to us, every time, just kind of floating our blade, dragging it across, just trying to drag that paint across, not even touching the blade, right? Just drag it out. These cool little things start happening. Maybe we have a little piece of it down here. Turning our angles. It's not just the same angle every time. Maybe one little, boop, just a little touch way back there. However we want to do it, you guys, I'm serious. However you're pulling it and dragging it is going to make a difference on how the light looks, okay? Now let's go back over here. We'll spin it up again. If your palette scrapey tool doesn't do a perfect flip, I don't know what to tell you. You better get a Paint with Josh one, right? Come in, straight across, so we cut out a little piece, and let's go off to the side. Dropping it down, just floating it, right? Imagine this bit of paint right here is a roll of paper towels or a roll of tissue on the end, right? If you just want to touch the tissue on there and then float it without mushing it, and without breaking off a bunch of bits, you know, you get those bits that fall off like toilet tissue and stuff. You know what I mean. They make commercials about them. You know what I mean, right? So all we're trying to do is deposit this thicker paint falling down. Littlest things out there. The smallest amount of pressure. Maybe we hit down here, and all of a sudden we can cut down and start creating a little bank, a little thing, a little here, a little there. Fill it up, back, fill it in very lightly. You don't try to go over these places too many times. And that's cool. If you left that there, I would not be mad at that. You know what I mean? That's totally up to you. How you want that guy to look. You want a deeper, darker shadow in there? Then leave it. It's perfect. Come up into your shadows on your one side, and you can project another bit of distance. Right? But we're pulling it sideways, sideways, sideways. Very slight angle, and then change in direction. Direction, direction, you guys. Come over here, grab this bit of blue. Whoop, scrape up a little teeny tiny bit. Deposit it a little thicker right in here. That way it'll be a bit brighter blue, it'll look like it's a little bit closer, and now all of a sudden you're creating depth in your own mountain without having to do anything, okay? That's gorgeous. Let's leave that guy just like that. Now, you guys can purchase this painting. If you go to paintwithjosh.com, it's the very first thing up there on the homepage. This is number 1,890. That is not the cost, it's just how many paintings we've done. We have done out there in Adelaide, nice. We've done 1,890 paintings. 1890. That's a lot of paintings in 3 years, you guys. 3 years. Yes, 6 years. Still a lot of paintings in 6 years. Okay. Goodness, if it was 3, I don't know what I'd be doing. Wouldn't have any time to do anything else. Now let's rotate. We're going to come up the back side just to soften these details. We're not trying to brush it. We're just trying to soften them, make them go further away. We don't want to see them. We make them go further. Little projection up here in my thing, and then I can change this whole thing coming down too. See that? Little bits, guys, little things are going to help. Little spiky areas, little whatever, right? It just adds one more little piece. You can always come up here and quite literally erase whatever you don't like about your little spiky piece as well. The more you go over it, the more it will blend in with that blue and disappear. Very cool. Very cool, guys. Now, let's come in. We'll take our Paint with Josh 1-inch brush because it's very thin. Right? We're going to come in. We're going to tap it. We're going to grab some of that snow. We're going to tap it down. You can see it very lightly, leaving some fine bits of lighter color. Right? And the more white that we grab on this guy, so if we came up here and we tapped at it, see how much further you can take that thing down. So same thing here. If we tap into these guys and we want to leave that little shadow in there, right? We can do so. Bang. All we're doing with these little taps is making more land. It's just a little bit harder to see. You know what I mean? We can't really see. And you can see I'm hitting it with those back bristles and then tapping it out this way. Kind of coming at it and hitting it like that. And that's going to soften down the paint, give you this foggy, misty effect, especially if you go up over your horizon of your mountain. You're going to cover this side anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But after doing so many paintings, if you're going to go up over the horizon of your mountain with your mist, that, right, just makes it more mysterious. a little bit harder to see, a lot more fun out there, right? Yeah, guys. Okay, let's get out here and let's see what we can do with the old Paint Massage 2-inch brush, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Paint Massage Plaque Mix, which is what? Do you guys know what that is? What are the 3 colors that we use in order to make Paint Massage Plaque, which is just a mixture of paint? And I'm going to mix in my sap green about half and half, right? Whatever the size of my plaque was, I want the size of my sap green pile to be the same thing. And that way I'm going to have a very, very dark green, right? We're mixing green, half black. That's going to be a dark, well, half plaque, even darker color. Now let's flatten this guy out, big enough that my whole 2-inch brush, 2 inches is big, like over here. Somebody said that in one of my videos. It was the funniest thing I'd ever heard, so now I say it. Just joking, it's not. Okay, let's come over and shoot, we could decide to put in another mountain. Dude, that would be cool too. Or we could bring in some little footy hills. I was thinking the little footy hills, so let's go with that. Okay, we've mixed up our very dark blackish greenish pile. And I just want to get a little bit of paint on it, kind of tapping in and mushing. Touch the bristles, push it down. Touch the bristles, push it down. See that bend in the brush? What happens? What's it going to look like? We come down underneath it a little bit more. What happens? What's it going to look like? We come down underneath it a little bit more. This is the fun part about painting, you guys. The what if. What's going to happen if we do this, right? What's it going to look like if I came back and did that, right? What do you, I mean, it's all up to us. We get to choose what our little painting looks like every time that we go to do it, right? Every time we can decide to do something different. We can decide to make it smaller, make it further away. Whatever we decide, it's going to be freaking wicked cool, right? Now watch this. What does this look like if we have a higher area and then 2 lower areas on either side? What does that look like to you back there? All right? I'm just asking. What's it look like to you? I'm going to come underneath that guy, right? And we're basically just with our clean brush we did our sky with. Just going to pull down a little bit and get lower and lower and lower and lower and lower like that. Okay? Again, lower and lower and lower and lower and lower like that. That way, we'll have a bit of that green if we go very lightly and we don't mix it away. Right? We'll have a bit of that green back there, being gorgeous, just being awesome. Right? Now, if you have any holes back there that are pretty light, just go back and tap them over. Right? They don't all have to be the darkest of greens, right? But if you need to, you can go back and fill in spaces. Okay. Now I want to add a bit more of my green to this brush. Pull it down over here, and then I'm going to add that green to that plaque pot so you can even see a difference. It's extra greeny right there. Okay. This guy is going to be a little bit closer, my friends. Ooh, bring out this side. Let's bring out this side. Yeah, let's bring out this side. All right, we're going to come in up into our guy up there. Tap it out. Tap it out. Bring it down here. Bring it down there. Just tapping it in and making it a little pivot point, right? We're making a triangle or a fan. It's starting very much the same space, and then we're getting a little lower. Then we go back to the same spot. A little bit lower, same spot, a little bit lower, same spot, a little bit lower. The more lower that we go, right, the more it's going to look like our land is coming in closer and closer and closer to us. Now, we can determine how far we want that guy to go out or how big we want our reflections to be just by how much paint is up here, okay? Again, we'll come back. Let's take this guy. Let's just pull it down just a little touch. Okay. Working at a downward angle, meaning it's higher up here and it's very lightly going down, right? Very slightly going down back there. Now, these guys we want to pull on a little bit harder. That way, you just get that green reflection underneath there, right? Oh, it's fabulous. That's fabulous, you guys. Now, what if we kept going, right? What if we did? You could always brighten that up too if you needed to, but what if we kept going? Let's get a little bit more of this paint right here. A little bit more of this guy and see what we could do if we know we had something way back there. Right? And all we're doing is just tapping in little lines of grass and then going back, getting lower, starting at the same point, getting lower and lower and lower, fanning it out, right? That's all you gotta do. Go fan it out, sit back there and relax. Right? It's coming in because it's a little lighter color, and now we've got a little darker color. That's making it look like this guy is now in the front. Right? Again, it doesn't have to be a straight, perfect line, but it does need to go downwards. The downward part is the biggest part. All right, you're going out, you're getting lower and lower and lower, and going out less and less and less, getting that lower angle coming down this way. Right? Again, it doesn't have to look like anything. It doesn't have to look like anything you've ever seen or whatever. You decide. Right? And then again, we can come back in and straight down on this guy wherever we want it. Right? So if we want some back here, start pulling very light, just like with one little bristle off of my 2-inch brush back there. Right? Nothing too big. And the more we come over here, we can start using more and more and more and more and more bristles. Yeah. Pull it down very lightly back here so it doesn't really all streak away. Right? Just by that pressure, down here, more pressure. Right? We can decide what we want, how we want it to look, every time, guys, seriously. Seriously. My grass in on that side, we're gonna finish our grass over here, just to show you, right, that you could finish it and have a wicked cool painting just like this. That's a cool painting. You can't tell me it's not, right? That's a wicked cool little painting right there, if it's me. If it's just me, right? That's a cute little painting, guys. Is Midge in the chat? Let's see. What's up, D from California? Thank you, guys. Right, it's a cool little painting. This, right, makes it much easier for our foreground to now stand out because everything back there is very soft. It's very small details, very small little trees. All these things are grassy hills, maybe some trees off in the background or whatever, but it's all very small-like. There we go, right there. Take it back. As long as we can have that little disconnect of our color, gorgeous. Now, would we want to then come in over here and tap in another bit of land? Right? All the while, you guys can do whatever you want. This doesn't even need to be a bit of land right here. You could literally put in a bigger tree right there. Or you could just finish it off with grass. You could take this whole guy down that way, like on this angle, fill in this whole bit, starting with that side going up, and then less, and then less, and less, and then flat. See what I mean? Fill it all in with grass. You have yourself a cool little river or something or other out there in the night. But what we're gonna do, oh yeah, what we're gonna do. Let's get in here with our liquid white. Remember, guys, you can purchase this painting. By the way, my name's Paint with Josh. I don't know if you've ever seen my face before. Maybe you only recognize the back of my hand and my black gloves, but I'm the man behind the plan, or Stan, or what, Stan, whatever, man. But yeah, we do wet on wet oil painting over here. Have a lot of fun. So if you've never seen me before, hello, nice to see you. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I very much appreciate it. And let's get back to our painting. What do you think? I'm gonna get a very, very small, like just literally tap it, right? So there's no scoop, there's no nothing. Why do I want a very small, why do I sound like my 12-year-old with the cracking voice right then? Why do I want my water lines in the background to be very small, even much smaller than that, in which case I'll come in here, kind of pull down, just so we have that one little teeny tiny little bit of white back there. Why do I want them so small back there? Does anybody know? Why are they allowed to get bigger now as they come over to this side? What do you think? What do you think? Why? Why are they so small in the background? Perspective, right, guys, right. The ones in the background are much further away. Right? We're not going to see all them because, let's fix this little gap right there. Here we go. Into the mountainside. We're not going to see every bit of water line all the way back there. So they have to be smaller, then they have to be bigger, then they've got to be biggest up here, right? That's where your perspective is going to take over in your brain and go, ah, okay, I can see, right? I want even more than that. I can see this guy right there. Pop up into it, down, whatever it is, right? We're deciding what we want, but we want it to be thicker than that one, and much thicker than the one there. That way you get that perspective about it getting closer and being able to see more. Now, let's mix up all this color. Take all this paint with Josh black mix with that green in there. We're gonna go black, crimson, blue in a 1:2:2 ratio. So 40%, 40% crimson, 40% blue, and then 20% black. It's gonna make a really dark pile of paint right here. Just an immensely dark pile, right? Right there, right? So you guys, again, check in, tell me where you're watching from right now, around the world, and we're gonna decide what we're gonna do with this little guy right here. What do we do? Oh, I've got an idea. Right? The way that I see this, big focal point in the center, something here, but bigger. You know what I mean? Helps make this guy look closer to us. Now watch. We come down here, we're gonna wiggle down the Paint with Josh fan brush right here. Again, I have my own line of brushes. You can find them on paintwithjosh.com or on craftammo.com. We come over here, let's not make it too terribly big, because then this one that sits closer has to be much bigger. All right, but what if we had maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 10 little trees out there? However, just kind of smacking. Trying to stay out of your guys' way. Smack. Little things. Right? Little bit. Little guy out there. Maybe he's got a little French or whatever. Little guy right there. Boom. Come in. Smack it. Trying again to stay out of your guys' way. Hitting it with just the corner. Then as you get down, the more you can get there. But you want to have all that sticky texture to it. If you don't have that texturous stuff, it just doesn't want to work. Let's bring these guys a little bit closer. By bringing down the darkness, we've now brought them a little closer to us, made them a little bit taller, right? Just like that, okay? Now, let's see, what if we had just something sticking off our little friend back there? Bang, right through, boom, little sticky little tree, a little trunky of a tree. What do you think it is, man? You get to tell us every time that you're doing one what you think it is back there. Now we can even get away with just a little guy back here too, just a little guy. And he may be humongous to be this tall all the way back there. We maybe don't even highlight 1 or 2 of those in the back there. Just to help, again, keep them in the distance, right? We don't need to see everything. We don't have to have everything. And then down here we're gonna have all of our flowers and all that sort of stuff. So be prepared, my friends. There. Okay, let's go throw some highlights on those guys. Let's get over here. We're going to grab our Paint with Josh fan brush, our smaller one, right? We have a large Paint with Josh fan brush and then a small Paint with Josh fan brush. We get into our white and our yellow ochre. Excuse me, our green and our yellow ochre. With our liquid white. That's what we're supposed to say. Liquid white helps make the paint not only more vibrant in color and bright, right? But more soggy. So it will come off of our brush with the smallest little taps. And the more that you tap at it, right, the more you're gonna have little highlights get mushed. And so don't tap at it everywhere. Don't hit every spot of the tree with all these bright bits. Right? You're trying to leave some form of darkness in there. It just helps. I'm telling you. Down here on this tree, we're gonna need maybe little things. Little bits, right? Now we gotta wash off our brush, because every time that we go to touch that dark mix with this very light color, it drops off of our color off of the brush, and then it picks up that darkness, right? So, in order to have that deposit, you need the correct mix of your liquid white. So you gotta have enough liquid white on the brush, enough paint on the brush. Come over here, we'll tap, and that way it will come off so easily. Right? Little teeny tiny little things. Just fabulous. Just quite honestly fabulous. Bang, right there. We don't want to cover up too many bits. We don't want everything to be overly bright or overly big or whatever. Some of the times, these little things just turn out so friggin' rad. Okay. Very cool. Now, let's take our liner brush. Let's go throw some branches on that little thing. Throw some branches on this old guy with our liner brush and our odorless mineral spirits. Odorless mineral spirits is what we use to clean the brushes with. So it makes our paint very, very, very wet. Very wet. What if we did one of these little guys? We start at the top. Right? Off the edge. Straight out the side. Just like that, quite literally. Straight out this way. We're going to cover them with a few little bits, except for this one. It's going to pop straight out of our tree, down there. Okay? Now, let's come back up, and we'll pop in just a few little things off of this guy. Try to stand here, guys. Come down off the edge. He's got a little branch. He's got a little branch off that side. He's got one in between we didn't even paint. Right? Little things. Little bits. Not every tree out there is the most perfectest. Okay, so add some weird things to it. make it however you want it to be. The more that you go, the more you get down there. Leave a little space so we can see through it too. It's always my favorite. If you can leave a space enough in there to see through it, that's going to be your favorite part of your tree too. Down there, wicked, wicked cool. Come back. Let's get a little bit more of our liquid white. And again, we don't have to overly do it on this big old tree. We have to overly do anything, really. The more little things that you add, the more brightness that it's going to have, the less depth that it has, right? So remember that. Leave a bit of our darker color down there, in betwixt all of our little bits of green. All right, and if we can do that, then it's going to make it look more 3D, you guys. If you don't leave your little bits of darkness in between your green, then it's going to look very flat. You don't want it to look flat. You want it to look full, you know what I mean? It can't look full if there's no dark areas in between all of our little bits of greens. Little things, little here, little there. As they're on the backside, they're a little dark, and that's okay. Bang, just like that. Little bits. Where do you want your bright areas to be? It's all up to us. We get to decide. We get to decide, my friends. Now, let's see something. Let's grab our brown. We're going to take our brown and our white. Just a little bit of our brown and our titanium white. Let's put down here. Just make a little tree trunk color. Don't need anything too crazily big or too much. Leave some of that darker color though. You don't want everything out there to have that brown on it, right? Maybe inside here, a couple little places. A little bit of your tree trunk showing here and there and everywhere. Very wet little area over there, dude. That is a wet spot over there for sure. Let's bring this guy down. There. That darker color behind his trunk. A little bit more 3D. And then, of course, we're just going to tap at it. All things are possible. And if we didn't even like the trunk, right? We can get rid of that, right? Scrape it right out. Let's take a little bit of bush in there instead. So now we can have all that excess. We can bring this guy down too. There. All that color, all that stuff in there, all of our things. And then again, you can come up here and you can decide how far you want to pull it, how dark it gets to be. You're in control. And all those little things happening down there. Very cool, you guys. Very cool. Very cool. Like it. Always, if you ever get too much of your color here, blend it away. You can push it. You can blend it. It will go away. The more you mix it, the more it will go away. Just remember that. Now remember, we're also going to have a big old patch of bushes come down in here around the bottom. So don't even even worry. Okay, because this whole thing where our grass was sort of set, we're going to scoop up as much of that paint as we can. Forcing our river to turn this way by having land. You know what I mean? You have to have that land to get everything to spin and move. I kind of like it back here, but you can almost just see the other side. Very cool. It's all about where we place things, right? Where are you going to put it? Where do you want it to be? How dark do you want it to be? How this, how that, how whatever. It's all up to us. We get to choose, guys. Man alive. That's wicked cool. Wicked, wicked cool. So this one, again, it's available over on paintwithjosh.com. You can head over there and grab it. But you got to be the very first one there. If you're not the very first one there, I can't help you. Let's come back in here and cut through these guys. Quite literally, cutting it in, depositing this little roll of paint out here. Just like that. We can see more little details down here than we can further away. That's going to help with our perspective. Okay, let's get out our little oval brush. Go into maybe some of our yellow ochre color right into here. Just tap on a couple of areas. Right? Not everywhere can be the same amount of brightness. Not everywhere is all going to be the brightest place you've ever seen every time that you paint it. Okay, so right there, a couple more. Ooh, right there, gorgeous. gorgeous. Not everything you do is always has to be seen, you know what I mean? You can cover things. You don't have to do the whole mountain back there because we covered it. We don't have to do anything back here because we're about to cover it, right? What should we cover it with? Should we do some more pine trees? Or should we do like a big old deciduous tree that like comes out here? It's got like a big pot and then it comes in. And then we got all these things. That's what I think we're gonna do. So you guys type it out. What do you want to do? And then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. Come over here. That way we can get all sorts of different trees, all sorts of different practice on the same canvas and have it turn out amazingly. So if you like this one, head over to paintwithjosh.com. We're probably gonna need a bigger pile than that. And you can grab it. It's right on the homepage, right? This is the only way that I make my money. I don't have any other form of income. This is it. I come up here and teach you guys how to do stuff. And if the paintings don't sell, we're gonna be out of business here pretty quick. So, you guys get over there, check it out. If you keep wanting these free videos, you gotta help me out. Come in here and scrape in a few little sticky twigs and all sorts of little stuff that's happening in there, holding up those branches, those things, little, just tons of bushes. You know what I mean? It's not just one bush. That's what you have to get over. It's never just one bush. It's always a multitude of things, right? Normally, you see how we pull the paint down very lightly into this little pile when we're loading our brushes? When we go in to do the texture, boy, oh boy, it's straight into the pile. Come out here, bang, just, that's how far. That's how far I want it. That's what I want you to do. Come out here, matey, and dangle over the side. All right, now, what happens if I leave this right back here on that hill? Kind of looks funky, right? You're like, why is it so tall way the heck back there? Why don't we just keep going and bring it down here? Now we can have this whole big thing, just proving again, you didn't even need to paint all the grass in the background, right? Doesn't have to be there. You don't have to do anything. I like that right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, though. Oh yeah, I like it. Okay, now let's go back to our liquid white. We're gonna need a fair amount, guys. The problem when you go to do your highlights, I'm guaranteeing you don't have enough paint. I'm just telling you right now. Right, see how I'm smashing right into the fattest pile of that paint with that liquid white so we get all that gunk up here, and then it's such a light touch. The more touch that we go, the more that we're gonna smush all those little things, right? You don't wanna have that smush, and you wanna be able to, for your brush to go for a long time, you gotta have enough paint on it, right? You don't have the paint on it, then I can't help ya. Let's get over here with our odorless mineral spirits into our kind of titanium white paint area. Right? Just over there, nothing too crazy. Get out here and throw in a couple little sticks and branches and twigs that are holding up some of these little guys. Maybe they come from the outside, maybe they're up the back. Maybe it's a big long one, you don't know. Right? We never know what they're gonna look like because you can never see every branch or trunk that's holding up every tree. It just doesn't work. It just won't happen. You just won't see it. Don't know what to tell you. Now, let's try to get the most amount of liquid white that I have left. I'll try to get into my yellow ochre paint. Maybe a bit of my Indian yellow, just right in there. Maybe we come down here. I'll start dabbing it in. That's a big old chunk of skin. I don't want that guy. Get off. There we go. Start dabbing it in. Touching here, touching there, boom, boom, boom. Right? You can't get very far off of these colors, and you're picking every time you're picking up that bit of dark. Right? Your brush is going to get dirty. Your highlights are going to want to get mushed because you're pushing too hard. Right? So lots of paint on the brush, very little pressure. Okay, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you from experience. I've struggled. I know it. I've done everything you've done. I've failed at every portion that you're struggling with multiple times. And I taught myself to learn how to correct that and then how to relay that correction to my students so they can do the same thing. You know what I mean? Now, let's get over here. Ooh, we got lots, liquid white in there. There's lots of it. Someone over here, someone over here. So we can tap into this green, get some more of that liquid white, tap into the green again. I'm trying to get the whole green pile onto my brush. Now, before we do anything else, let's use our palette tool. Scrape in here, a little sticky little twig, whatever. Little things. Yeah, they project up out into the water. That is distance, you guys. Down there, got some green ones. Maybe we cover over some of those sticks and twigs. Maybe we don't. Right? We're not trying to do it at random. We're trying to hide stuff strategically. So there's not all green. It's not all yellow ochre. There's not all this or all that. But it is all right. Sorry, that was bad. There we go. Very cool, right? Come in here. Scrape, scrape, scrape. From the bottom, come all the branches. Whoop, and it poke right out into our scene. Isn't that cool? Isn't that just the cutest guys? Isn't that cute, guys? I think it's cool. I think this guy's missing just a couple little bits too. He just wants a touch, like not too much. There. Put too many on him and it's gonna bring him too close. You know what I mean? But now you guys gotta come up with a title for this painting because that's a gorgeous one right there, dudes. That is fantastic. Just fantastic. Man, oh man, oh man. You put some roses in there. You could, literally, you could throw some red in. You could do that. There's nothing that says we can't. I love a good bit of red in a scene. Just make it gorgeous. Just makes it gorgeous. Okay, let's get a little bit of our liquid white. Just a little touch. Good little glob of it. And let's go into that madder carmine color. There, a little bit of our crimson too, just because we need it for that texture. Right? And maybe off of some of these guys, pop in little bits of red or some deep darkness or something. Just little differences. They don't all have to be the same. If they are all the same, guess who's not gonna like it? You. This is our crimson color, by the way. It's right down there. We get to choose, guys. Bang, a bit of red, a little here, a little there. Just a few little differences is all you're looking for. All right, maybe there's a couple little bits down here, because they don't all just grow crazy. You gotta have them differences. Right? Just like that, guys, seriously. Now, we can even take a bit of our liquid white, right? And go right over the top of those guys. Hey, little things, little things, little things. And then you've got just some little white flowery bits popping off of these little dudes. There. A bit of our darkness, a bit of brightness on the top. Have them stand out. Those are really cool, guys. Those are really cool. Okay, you guys got to come up with a title. Remember, if you purchase the painting, you get to choose the title, and you get a free gift off the Spinny Winnie wheel, which is everyone's favorite gifting wheel. But you got to be the first person over there to get it, dudes. Look at those little pinky things. They're so awesome. Saw the lightning tutorial. Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate you. A river runs through it. Don't let this one go, says Mindy. This one took about 48 minutes from start to finish. 48 minutes. Pretty quickly, pretty easily. Showed you how to do so. All these things from the very beginning. Man, looks great. Thanks, Visions. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate it. Man, that's cool. I love landscapes. They're so much fun. Literally so much fun. So, like I said, if you do want this painting, I'm going to take a few minutes to clean up the brushes and stuff. If you want to grab this painting, go to paintwithjosh.com. That's my website. You can find it. It's the very first thing that you're going to see when you get to the website. Right? So it doesn't have a photo of this yet because we haven't painted it and we're able to take a photo yet, right? So there's no photo associated with it yet. It just has a little purple thumbnail, like a random thumbnail in a of two Paint with Joshes, basically, in a nice ornate gold frame. That's the very first thing that you see when you go to paintwithjosh.com. That's the painting. That's this one right here that you want to get. If you want this one. We've got many past purchasers in here, many future purchasers in here. And there can only be one today that's going to be you, right? So, you got to get over there. You got to grab it before someone else, because it could happen at any moment. It can happen before the show. It can happen after the show. It can happen during the show. You never know. what's going down or what's going through someone else's mind because they're trying to get it too. So don't let it slip by like Mindy says. I'll tell you, this paint with Josh Bush round brush, the round brush can hold a lot of paint. I cleaned it out once, I gotta go back and clean it out again. So you guys can have an awesome view. I moved my whole cleaning bucket station out of the way so I didn't have to do this every time, like stick my head right into the frame. I'm sure you guys don't like that. This one came out amazing though. Amazing. Thanks FL Hockey 2022, I appreciate you. It came out pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. I like the little river, I love the colors. Love everything about it, man. Literally everything about it. Your paint with Josh round brush is wrecked. I beat the bejesus out of mine. So thanks, Stephanie Hart. Appreciate you. Now we're gonna go add our signature to it. So like I said, if you want to grab it, it can be yours. All you gotta do is go to paintwithjosh.com to grab it. And once you grab it, you can come back and tell us what to call it. You guys. Okay. Only a couple brushes left, guys. I'll be right there. I do all my brushing while the show is on, so you guys can catch up at the end. You can title it for me. You can do all that stuff. But you gotta comment. Comment, comment, comment. What you thinking? And we're gonna go add our signature in right over here. So I've got our odorless mineral spirits and our Paint with Josh plaque mix, or straight into your black or whatever. It depends on the color of your plaque. Ours is pretty black today. There we go. Sometimes it's green. We're gonna put the green ones up there. Get a little bit of our paint. We're gonna grab our maul stick. I suggest you get one of these. If you don't already have one, get yourself one, because they come in handy where you can rest your hand here and do minute little details with just the finest motor skills ever. Right? You can do it. You guys are there. I already know that you have the skills to make it happen, Captain. So, come down, and let's get it done. Grab the paints, and let's do it virtually. Watch the videos and paint something and send it to me. I can't wait, you guys. Just can't wait. It's honestly one of the highlights of my day is when I can see photos that you guys have sent in to me, right? Like, oh, I really love this tutorial and I wanted to give it a try and it came out so great. What do you think, Josh? I'm like, oh, it's the best thing I've ever seen. You know what I mean? So please don't stop sending them to me. If you have ever sent me one in the past and I haven't responded, I'm so sorry. I get many messages all the time. Most of them are scam things. A lot of them are like, oh, this is great. And it's like, thank you. I try to respond to everybody that I can. So I just appreciate you guys so much for everything that you do. For always being here to watch the shows. Everybody on Facebook, you guys are awesome. Everybody on YouTube, you guys are awesome. Everybody, oh, I forgot to move the charger over. Everybody on TikTok, of course, is awesome. You guys are the most awesomest. The awesomests of awesomes. Man, that one came out cool. Golden glow. Terry, I like that. Paint on my face. Oh, no. Well, it's a painting show. There was bound to be paint on it somewhere. At some time, it's okay. We'll have to end the streams and then we'll stay on TikTok. Because I don't know if you guys on Facebook and YouTube know, right? Like we're streaming on Facebook and on YouTube and on TikTok all at the same time. And so afterwards, the TikTok camera allows me to spin it around so where I can conversate with the viewers a little bit more and, you know, ask questions, answer questions, learn about them, all that shit. You know what I mean? So if you ever want to go over there and watch on TikTok, it's the same show, but just a little bit more extra at the end when we sit and hang out with everybody and make jokes and see, talk, all that stuff. So, you guys have all been amazing. We're going to end the YouTube stream and the Facebook stream because I don't really like them to go longer than an hour. I feel like people are like, oh, that's too long, I don't have enough time. And so we try to keep every painting around an hour, and we have a good time while we're doing it. So, I'm going to dip down here. Hi, everybody over on YouTube. Did I just touch this painting? No, it's fine. I did a little bit. Hi, everybody over on YouTube and on Facebook. That's what happens when I start messing about. You guys have been awesome. Watch that down there. There we go. Bang. Now I've got a spare J on my shirt. Got a spare J on the shirt sleeve over here, you guys. There we go. Okay. Got brush washed off. Let's see. Has it found a new home? Are we still good? Love the way you paint. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is that Birdie and me? Appreciate you. Yes, I know. I probably have paint on my nose. But in any case, everybody over on YouTube, I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Honestly. Oh my, that was a lot of paint, you guys. I didn't realize there was that much. Why didn't you guys say anything? I didn't realize there was so much. Did I get it all? Everybody? Is it gone? Is it on both sides? Is it just on one side? Okay, everybody over on YouTube and on Facebook. Again, I have to get down so I feel like I'm hunchbacking. Oh, goodness. You guys have been amazing. I love you all to death. I can't wait to come back. We'll do it again tomorrow night on YouTube and on Monday night over on Facebook. Happy Friday the 13th to everybody out there. It's a wonderful day. Don't let it scare you. And beyond that, you guys take care. Have the rest of a good day. And blah, blah, blah. Goodness gracious. All right.